Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Cozy Chat, a slow English podcast which helps you to learn English in a fun and natural way. I am Maria, and today we are going to be talking about Valentine's Day. Now, I wanted to talk about Valentine's Day because it is right around the corner. Now, when I say something is right around the corner, that means it is coming up soon or it is going to happen soon. So, Valentine's Day is in a couple of days, and I thought it would be fun to just talk a little bit about it. So first, I want to explain a little bit of what Valentine's Day is, and then I also want to share some fun Valentine's Day stories from myself because I thought that would just be kind of fun. So, now Valentine's Day is a holiday that is primarily celebrated in the United States, and it is celebrated on February 14th. It is basically a celebration of romance and really dedicated towards couples. So, what people typically do on Valentine's Day is go out to dinner with their partner or make dinner at home, just spend time together. People buy presents for each other, people buy chocolate for each other. And one typical thing that is very important on Valentine's Day are red roses. So it is very typical for the guy to get the girl red roses on Valentine's Day. Sometimes it could be other kinds of roses, red and white roses, for example, people also get, but the typical Valentine's rose is a beautiful red rose. So on that day, many red roses are sold. And on this day, many times lots of girls have flowers or roses delivered to their work that is sent to them from their partner, or maybe the guy just gives roses to the girl, but it's not something that you have to do, but it's just something very typical to do on this day. There's also another thing that sometimes groups of girls do on Valentine's Day, which is called Galentine's Day. A gal is another word for a girl, and that's why it's called Galentine's Day. And basically, girls get together and just have a little party together. Actually, one of my friends is throwing a Galentine's Day party this weekend. It's one of my American friends that lives close to me, and she asked us all to wear pajamas, and we're going to play games and just have like a fun night together. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's a really great way for just girls to get together. Even if you're not celebrating anything with a guy, it's fun to just get together with girls and have a little party like that. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now, not only couples celebrate Valentine's Day, it's also a fun holiday for kids to celebrate. I know whenever I was in school, everyone would bring little Valentines to school, which were really just basic Valentine's cards, which would have different designs or messages on them. And you would give a Valentine's card to everyone in your class. So at school, everyone had a bunch of these Valentine's cards that just say something like, Happy Valentine's Day, or Will you be my Valentine? Things like that, little cute messages on these Valentine's Day cards. And it was always just a really fun day. Now, today, I think these Valentine's cards at school have gotten a little bit more elaborate. It's not just a little card. Kids also exchange little toys and jewelry and candy and things like that. So at the end of the day, the kids have all of these new toys and things like that from the rest of their class. Now, I say it's a really fun, happy day, but that is not always the case because, as you can imagine, there are many people who don't have a partner, and this day can be a really sad day for some people. And some people may have this idea or image of what Valentine's Day is going to be for them and have some plan. And then if something happens and Valentine's Day does not end up the way you wanted it to be, it can just be really sad. Talking about that, whenever I was a teenager, there was one year that I got dumped on Valentine's Day. I had plans to do something with my boyfriend at the time, and I was waiting on him to come pick me up from home, and he didn't come. And then he finally called and not only told me he wasn't coming, but he broke up with me as well. So that's an example of how on that year, Valentine's Day was a little bit of a letdown for me. Now, don't worry. I've gotten over that. It was a long time ago. But that's just a pretty good example of how Valentine's can also be kind of sad in some cases. Since I've been out of the United States for so long now, which has now been 13 years that I have been living in Spain, it's been a long time since I've really celebrated Valentine's Day. Now, my husband is German, and we really could celebrate Valentine's Day if I told him I really wanted to. We could, but it's a little bit different since we're not in the US and no one else is celebrating it. So it just doesn't seem that important, which is kind of sad because Valentine's Day really is fun to celebrate when you do celebrate it and you have someone you want to celebrate it with, but we never celebrate it. In fact, the other day we were eating dinner and I said, "Hey, Valentine's Day is just around the corner." The same phrase I said earlier. And my husband said, "Oh yeah, when is that again?" Like he didn't even know when it was. But that's okay. I will tell a story of my first Valentine's Day with him, though. So we had just started dating whenever I had gotten to Spain, and we were just getting to know each other. This was my first Valentine's Day in Spain, and it was my husband's first Valentine's Day that he had ever celebrated. And we weren't even really dating yet. We were just getting to know each other. So at the time, I was studying and I had class that day. And when I came home, there was a rose on a table in my bedroom. And a little card saying, Happy Valentine's Day. I can't wait for dinner tonight, or something like that. So he had gotten in touch with my roommate at the time and coordinated with her to come into the apartment and leave this rose for me, which was really sweet. And when he came to get me for dinner, he had 11 more roses for me, because roses typically come in a pack of 12, which is also called a dozen roses. I'm not really sure why a dozen roses is a thing, but that's how they come many times. So he left me the first rose in my bedroom, and then he brought me the rest of the roses before we went to dinner. Now, later, he told me like he was so nervous about getting Valentine's Day right the first time since I was American, and he didn't really know like what to do. So he really went the extra mile. He went the extra mile. That's a way of saying he went over and beyond what he really needed to do, because he just really wanted to get Valentine's Day right with me, which is really cute. So he did such a great job for the first Valentine's Day, and now he doesn't even know when Valentine's Day is. So there you go. One of my most memorable Valentine's Day experiences is one year when I was in college, or we call university college in the US. So I was in college and I was probably 20 years old. I was probably 18 years old. And on this year, I was single on Valentine's Day. I did not have a boyfriend. And at my dorm, a dorm is where college kids live, kind of like an apartment building for students. At my dorm, there was a huge chocolate fountain. Now, a chocolate fountain is that. It's a fountain that has the flowing liquid chocolate coming down. And there was tons of fruit with it. So it was this beautiful, big chocolate fountain, and strawberries, bananas, all different kinds of fruit, cakes, cookies, things like that. And I was so excited about this chocolate fountain that I just went crazy. I went crazy, meaning I ate so much. I just remember standing at that chocolate fountain being like, okay, I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have anything else to do. I'm just going to enjoy this chocolate fountain, and I'm going to indulge. To indulge means to really eat a lot of something and to really enjoy it. So I was like, I'm going to really indulge in this chocolate fountain. And I ate so much of this stuff. The fruit covered in chocolate, the cakes and the cookies covered in chocolate. And it was so good. I just remember how delicious it was. And then I went back up to my room and I started feeling so sick. Really, really, really sick. I had a true sugar overload. I don't think sugar has ever affected me so much, because I don't typically eat huge quantities of it, except I did on that day. And I just remember the rest of the night, I was so sick. I was so sick from eating so much of that chocolate fountain. So what I originally thought was going to be really fun for myself and different to just really enjoy that chocolate ended up being a complete disaster. And I think even the next day, I was not feeling good after that. So I really learned my lesson. And every time I see or think about a chocolate fountain, I think about that experience that I had. And the next story that I have about Valentine's Day is really quite a cute one because it's from when I was a little girl, when I was 5 years old. So my mom said that I was really sad after Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's was over. And I was sad because there was no holiday coming up because I really loved the holidays so much, as I still do now. But I was really sad at the time and I wanted a holiday to celebrate. So my family threw me a little Valentine's Day party and my mom made me a little Valentine's Day cake that said, "We love you." And here is a picture of me with my cake. Look how extremely happy I look at my little surprise Valentine's Day party. I just think it's a really cute story. And how cute are you, Mom, for making that nice cake for me? I would have never thought about that. That's just really nice. And I just look really happy at this, at my little party. That cake looks really good, actually. I'm like wanting a piece of that right now. No chocolate fountain, but I wouldn't mind eating a piece of that cake. So, do any of you guys celebrate anything like Valentine's Day in your culture? Maybe there's another day that is typical for people to celebrate love where you live. I would really love to know. I love reading all of your comments and hearing what you do in your country and your culture. It's always so interesting to me and for the other viewers as well. So just let me know in the comments if you celebrate anything similar. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I cannot wait to see you in the next episode. Bye.